Yeah, always. Hello. How are you? Welcome to yet another episode of Those Natural Ones. Here, the last episode before our live in person for whatever month this is, April session, which will be Friday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, live from Stream Dad Studios, where we'll all be sitting around rolling real actual dice. Little bit of a hiccup for those audio listeners. The last week's episode didn't get uploaded in podcast form until today, so my apologies. Regular schedule again, starting this week, I promise. Other than that, if you haven't, like and subscribe. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Trovo, Kick, TikTok, Instagram, other things. All of them, like and subscribe. Anyway, so that's all I had. Anybody else have anything? Am I missing something? There it is. Yes, hit the books. Vids.com. Yeah. Fix Lindsay's car. Yes. So, I think that's everything. So, Sam, what happened? What did we miss last week? Oh, hold on a second. Why is nothing coming through? Hold on a second, people. Apparently their shit's not coming through again. So, let's fix this. Say something, someone.
Something.
Oh, there we go. Okay, we're good. Everybody should be able to hear. At least I found it early this time. All right, Sam. Yeah, thanks, Dad. You're a little late. I already fixed it. Thank you anyway, Father.
Yeah, Dad.
That's the delay.
That is the delay. I know. Thanks. It should be fixed now. If you could verify that for me, that would be fantastic. Anyway, Sam, what actually happened last week now that people can hear you?
So, what happened last week? The party continued the journey to Dis via the River Styx. We passed through 5 layers of hell, going from freezing cold to brutal heat to endless decay, until we finally arrived on the second layer of hell with Dis looming in the distance. We all dressed up as Shanian's soldiers, with Butch donning the hat of disguise, and we approached the city, and as we did so, we suddenly found ourselves within it, surrounded by intense heat and searing metal. No matter where we looked, we could see a tower in the distance. Even if we all faced in different directions, we could all still see the tower in the distance. We ended the session preparing for a long rest in an abandoned building with a tiny hut giving us some respite. That's where we are.
Fantastic. And that is where we will pick up. Where are you time-wise?
You mean like what day is it?
Yes.
Or
What day is it?
The 6th.
And how many days have you been in hell, and how many days until you can use that amulet, if you so choose?
One day.
So we used the amulet on the 4th. And we can't use it again until the 11th.
Fantastic.
And today's the 6th.
Oh,
not
2
one
days.
day. No.
We've been
Oh no.
So, this is where you're at, in an abandoned building, somewhere in the city of Dis, on the second layer of hell, in a tiny hut.
Make sure everybody took their long rest.
Yes. So, as you do take your long rest, I mean, you're locked up pretty tight, so I'd say you're able to do it without an issue. Morning comes. You guys take your watches and all of that. Morning comes. What are you doing?
So I was corrected on the understanding this wrong last week that there's not portals here out.
Not that you're aware of.
Orpheus paid somebody to get him out last time?
Correct.
Smuggle him out?
Correct.
My whole escape plan is void then, because I misunderstood that. How do we plan on getting out of here after we rescue her?
Were those same people that took you out still available, Orpheus?
I would assume they are, but I don't know for sure. Things change so quickly down here.
How'd you find them the first time?
Well, you saw all the creatures and people interacting in the town and the city. I just found the underground current and played within it.
Well, we might want to secure the out before we do the rescue, because I don't think after we
Agreed.
do the breakout, trying to hide in the hut for 6 more days is a good idea.
Probably
Well,
not
there's-
smart.
There's a resistance group. They're called the Bleeding Heart. They're comprised of a diverse group of people, creatures that
Bunch of
resist the
liberals.
Lord here. Many of them are trying to do the same thing I was doing, which was escape. So sometimes they're successful, sometimes they're not. But we could try to seek them out. There's no guarantee they'll help, though.
We might need to be a bit persuasive if we plan on using them.
No problem. I got this.
Oh no.
Maybe I got this.
Or
I don't.
Bard.
I was going to say I don't know which
We
worries
got
me more.
this?
Did we?
Go ahead.
And I think the we is probably what we're going to rely on.
Did we?
That came out in like 2007. Do we really want to rely on that?
God damn it.
No, it's okay. I think
you know what? I think I'm just going to stay in hell.
I think when it comes to the we, I think we
That's
have
where all these
You're
puns
in
come
hell.
from, man. If you're trying to get away from the puns, it's not going to help if you stay here.
I'm in hell. This is just where I live now.
I thought we couldn't use the amulet to save Gwen.
We're unknowledgeable about that. How many people can you transport at once with that thing?
I believe it's 8 at the most.
I thought there was something about her spirit not like it's tangible, but it doesn't.
It's like
It's not free until she crosses a boundary.
right.
That is one thing we did talk about, and basically it was came to the assumption that if you could get a hold of her, you could transfer her essence just like the same way you would transfer a person.
We just have to get a hold of her.
Oh, so we don't have to leave like through Orpheus's route then.
I mean, we could stick around and then use the amulet at the,
Yeah, and it's
after a week.
9 people total, you and 8 people.
9. Okay, so me and 8 more. Okay.
Correct.
I mean,
All right.
I don't want to risk trying to hide here for a whole week. So maybe we should check out this underground first, at least. See if that's option still available.
We might also be able to get their help if we're still looking to start a prison riot. I'm sure they would love the opportunity to kick back at the mans.
A rebellion in hell is a very interesting proposition, to say the least.
If nothing else, they might be able to give
Start
us.
writing a song called "There's a Riot Going On in Hell Block Number 9." So that's what I'm doing right now.
Thank you, Rhett.
You're welcome. It's gonna be super inspiring. It's gonna get us through.
Looking forward to that one.
I think the key here is that if we do get in there, cause enough distraction to get Gwen, I don't think that there's limitations with the gem that we have to use it outside the prison. So I think theoretically, if we can find a quiet enough spot to get the action done, we can probably make our attempt to escape with the gem if we want to try it that way. And use potential
Be
links.
quiet in hell prison.
Well, if there's enough of a distraction, that's all relative, right?
Is it just me, or is Chris's audio and video not synced?
It always is. It's always slightly
okay.
off.
Okay.
Can't be worse than mine.
I'm using a slow USB
Husband.
cable, so that's probably why.
So, with this discussion, what have you guys decided to do today?
Check out the underground.
Check out the underground.
All right. Now, Chris,
Ground.
or Orpheus, you know from your time here, clearly, like we talked last week, the city structures themselves are constantly being altered and changed via magical means as well as typical construction due to the paranoia of Dispater. So,
That's a great band name.
it would be fantastic.
Paranoia of Dispater.
So, you know that they do have this Bleeding Heart does have safe houses throughout the city. However, finding them would be extremely difficult due to the ever-changing nature of the city.
There's got to be some way. They've got to know where they are.
So when Dispater rearranges the city, he's kind enough to move the rebellion's hideouts.
Well, not necessarily that so much as finding the street entrances and everything, since the streets change. You know, sometimes an entrance that was on an alley is now in the bottom of a building, or something that was a trapdoor at the bottom of the building is now covered by a statue. You know,
Did they use any type of like thieves' cant to mark stuff?
you would know that there are occasional symbols, sometimes used painted on things.
Would my background city thing not apply here because of the nature of the city? You know, the thing where I can find my way through any
Right.
city.
It would be, I would say it'd still give you a little bit of an advantage because of the simple fact that regardless if it's changing or not, I mean, the city still has a structure to it. So,
Well, we got to figure out Butch's feet before we go anywhere.
Yes, please.
Do we have any solution for that?
Is there anything we can use to cover your feet, Butch?
Clothes?
I mean, up to this point, what were we doing? Just wrapping his feet in bandages, or
Well, I could look through my inventory here.
Got 50 feet of silk
Question.
rope.
We got a bunch of caltrops. We could just.
I mean, we got a bunch of
I'm not seeing
pieces of
on
armor
here.
and weapons in the bag. Maybe there's something off of those we could steal.
Caltrop and rope shoes.
Rhett, what was your question?
How much can my unseen servant carry?
I'm pretty sure it's only like 15 or 20 pounds, maybe.
Not 540.
Yeah, not not
I'm
500.
pretty sure on that.
Oh no.
I mean, that would be amazing.
What's the stealth roll if we make a palanquin?
Oh no!
Forever,
Quadruple disadvantage.
forever disadvantage.
I mean, how long does anybody have the levitate spell? How long does that last?
Not long enough.
And well, levitate doesn't have any kind of like momentum behind it.
What about fly?
Fly.
We have fly.
Jeff,
I think
Yeah.
Butch might be the only one who has any form of flight.
Right? Maybe you could turn me into a fly and put me in a jar.
How long does it last to fly?
I can fly for a total of 3 minutes.
I will say, for the sake of this and the amount of shit that you have in the bag of holding, you're able to fashion. Who has any kind of tool proficiency?
Thieves' tools.
I just have thieves' tools and poisoner
here
kit.
if my character sheet would load, but I can't tell you.
I can poison the shit out of his feet, so they don't feel anything anymore.
I
I'm a
can
cleric.
navigate his feet with navigator's tools. That's all I got. I can steal his feet and I can find them.
I mean, we have ability scores.
Yeah, I would say, for the sake of this, I would like one person to make me just a straight survival check to see if you can see if you can come up with a plan to fashion some sort of foot wraps for him.
Well, we've got 2 people with survival
Can I
at least.
die? Can I give somebody bardic die?
Absolutely, you can.
So doesn't that mean someone could
Great.
aid
Whoever's
the other
doing
one?
it and has
I'm proficient in survival too, so we can.
All right,
great
so
bardic die.
bardic
Who else is
inspiration.
proficient with survival?
I am. I mean, I'm not great.
It's one of the things I have an advantage on when it comes to Fiend's Fan or Undead, but I don't think that applies to
No,
this.
that would not. I would say
Yes, Bunch
that
has a secret.
Orpheus, with advantage and a bardic inspiration, make a survival check.
Okay. Here we go. Should I do it at advantage or normal?
Yes, at advantage because Butch is assisting you. Cool. 17 plus add a d6. With an 18, yeah, you're able to go through the bag of holding and pick out small pieces of like leather and using the leather and the ropes from rip apart a couple pieces of the leather from some of the armor. And with the silken ropes and everything, fashion some crude like sandals for Butch that have a fairly thick sole to the point where you feel like pretty confident in the fact that he would at least be able to walk around without singeing the bottoms of his feet.
Oh, wonderful. Speaking of the singes on the bottom of my feet, should someone make a medicine check? Does anyone have medicine to treat my badly burned feet?
I do not.
Hmm.
Do we not have anyone with medicine? I don't
No.
think we do.
I will do it myself.
Go for it.
Picking the things that Rain is not specialized in.
We're really having a physician heal thyself moment right
Indeed.
now.
Yeah, pull yourself up
sorry.
by your own bootstraps off
Your own
of this
sandal
hot ass ground.
straps.
Handle straps. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
A natural 20 for a 25. Yeah, and he did.
You give
And it
yourself
was
a
great.
stunning a pedicure at the
Yeah,
same time.
your nails have
fantastic.
never looked so pretty.
Well, I know where I hurt myself, so it was easier.
So now Butch's feet are immaculate.
He just needed some self-care.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Immaculate but oozing.
Yeah. But you're already feeling better. You got some
Self-care.
some ointments.
Self-care sandals. That's a item now.
Yeah. You get some ointments. some sandals.
I've heard ooze is good for turtles.
So, what's the plan?
I pull out from under my armor a piece of cloth that has the shape of a heart with kind of a lightning bolt shaped red streak through it, a white interior and a black exterior. This is the
Very
symbol
nice.
that the Bleeding Heart
So like
used
you
as...
pulled out like the symbol of heartbreak warfare from John Mayer. Like that's here.
I'm going to tell you, I didn't make it.
I'm going to tell you, I didn't make it either. AI made it.
Is there a John Mayer cult down here? That's the Resistance? That's amazing.
It reminded me. It reminded me of the Green Day "American Idiot"
Yeah, it really did.
symbol. Yeah.
God, they probably played just Your Body is a Wonderland on repeat.
Yeah.
Well, after that
Hellbreak
pedicure, I
warfare.
think Butch's body is a wonderland.
Okay.
Self-care scandal wonderland.
Well, I can
Body.
use my my background and the knowledge he's given to try to find one of these places.
All right. Are you all heading out, or are you sending Arnon out to scout?
Well,
It's
I would
dangerous to go alone.
yeah, if
Here,
if he
take
goes
this.
alone, there's no guarantee he'll be able to find his way back with the changing landscape. So, I would assume it's smarter to go together.
As a
Yep.
unit.
Hit unit.
Do you want me to stay here for the spell or?
It's the next morning. It's already been. You've already taken.
Oh, okay.
So it is now day 4 in hell, correct?
Should we all go then?
I thought it
Yes.
One.
Today is the
All right.
first day.
was 4. Okay.
What do you guys think? Barbed devil or bearded devil today? With my hat of disguise.
Which
Bearded.
one's bulkier?
Bearded. Which one is bulkier, Nick?
Between a barbed and a bearded?
They're both pretty thin, aren't they?
Guess it
And we're gonna
depends
have
on
to
how
smell
big their
burnt hair
beard
if we
is.
go with bearded.
I mean, that sounds pretty hellish to me.
True.
Yeah, I think you'd be able to pass with your hat of disguise. I mean, either one, really.
All right. Bearded it is.
Fantastic. So you
So
see,
tonight's DM is brought to you by we need to move the story forward for Friday.
yes, no. So you see Butch.
He would never let us get away with this much shit.
No, you see Butch's shape change into the. You see these like long, barbed, purplish tentacles come out of his chin. Long purple hair on this kind of like reddish pale skin.
How tall is he with this?
I look cool.
He's actually oddly enough slightly shorter than his normal persona. It's probably about maybe like 5'6", 5'7".
A very effective hat.
Just don't anyone
Can I
try and
just-
throw something over his head. Oh,
Is he
you,
gonna
it,
poke-
it hits right. You're tapping him right in the forehead, and your finger.
Ow.
It looks
Ow.
like nothing,
Ow.
but that you can definitely feel resistance right there.
Just gauging if I need to throw something over your head.
Good. That's good. That is good. Thank you. I don't want
One
to be.
thing we
being in
should
the
be
back
aware
the
of is a lot of demons can see through this stuff, or devils. So, remember the
Oh,
big ones
really?
that we fought on our way to the docks. They saw right through that sleet storm because they have demon sight. So
That's true.
we need to be aware of that.
Okay.
Well, if they can see through it, are they going to know he's putting on some kind of illusion? Or can we just kind of play it off that he's our prisoner?
I guess it all depends on the devil.
Oh, fuck.
To be fair, there aren't a lot of devils in this resistance group, so if we see one, we should probably avoid it anyway.
So,
Let us go.
are you, as you all exit this building, are you just walking out into the area, or are you attempting to be unseen?
I think unseen. would be a
Stealth checks then from
great
everybody.
idea.
I will use my stealth to attempt to act as though I belong here.
Fantastic.
I will cast invisibility to have a better chance at not having to deal with my ass cheeks.
Do we have pass without a trace from anybody?
I'm pretty sure Gwen was the only one
No,
with
that
pass
Gwen
without a
had that.
trace.
How did me and... Oh, never mind. We didn't. Let's see.
Oh, thank Christ. My stealth rolls have been sad as shit lately.
Oh boy. Which got a 6.
Oh, God.
Maybe it's not stealth I should roll, but persuasion or deception.
Yeah, it would be that would be more a deception check, but we'll come to that. So
We'll come to that.
So we have Rain with a 23, we have Rhett with a 22, Orpheus with a 17, Arnon with a 19, Butch with a 6, and Elric with a 16 and invisibility. So you walk up, you open that door, and you notice that it's already changed. You walk out into this alley, and this alley is different. Now, where it was a flat street, now you have a curved. You look left, and the road actually curves out towards the right. You see a handful of buildings across the street. You look right, and the road continues. The alleyway continues for a few hundred feet before you notice that it appears to come to a larger intersection.
Just keep going.
Which way, left or right?
Yeah.
What does my instinct tell me?
Make a survival check. What is? How does that work again? What is?
Would he be able to do that at advantage?
I-
Because I also, like,
It says,
as a ranger, like,
You know the secret patterns and flows to cities and can find passages through the urban sprawls that others would miss. When you are not in combat, you and companions who leave can travel between any two locations of the city twice as fast as your speed would normally allow. So basically, you're just going faster. It doesn't really give you much of an advantage on finding things so much as it gives you can move quicker in the city because of the fact that you can kind of be familiar with alleyways and how the street system typically works. Now, Rhett, what was your question?
but would he be able to, like, have advantage since I'm supposed to be, like, an unsurpassed explorer? So even if I don't know an area, like, I would have some sort of instinct. So, like, him and I conferring together, like, with that.
The issue is typically rangers work best in the wilderness, not in urban environments. And
Right.
especially
you said-
not,
Explorer, though, too.
You said survival, right?
yeah, especially.
Well, then I think Rhett and Orpheus should guide us, and one of them can give the other advantage because they're both proficient.
Okay, that works.
Orpheus, how do you want to do this? Do you want to do it?
Well, Rhett, you've got a +6, and he's only got +2. So
So,
All right.
Rhett can roll with advantage.
I'm gonna use my bardic die for myself on this one,
Fantastic.
unless anyone disagrees.
You just look in the mirror and say, You are.
I mean,
strong.
well, actually, Butch has got a +8 and is proficient.
That's
so
true. I'm a
Oh
wanderer.
my god.
maybe.
Okay, well then Butch, I'm gonna give you my bardic die.
Okay. Follow me and my clanky feet. Clank, clank, clank. Is
Big
this an
money.
advantage?
Yes.
Okay.
Big money, no whammy.
Okay. 22.
You do have a bardic die too, if you want.
He put it in there.
Oh, you did.
I put it in there.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it was.
So
What a pro.
with a 22, you look out and you can't really see much when you look left due to the fact that the road curves away. But while you're standing there for a minute looking right, you notice, like I said, a few hundred feet, and then it appears to open up, kind of crossing a main thoroughfare. You wait for a few minutes and you notice occasional foot traffic passing. You do see the occasional, bearded devil walking past. You see a few tieflings walk past. Then you notice some more human, dwarf, other races that you're not completely familiar with. Then more devils passing. You stand there for about 5 minutes. You do see a good mix of races walking down that thoroughfare.
5 minutes. Okay.
So you would assume that
follow
would
them.
be closer towards a more populated area.
Let's do it.
All right. So you come up, you walk up to that. It's almost like a T intersection where the alley just like dead ends into this road that's probably about 30 feet wide, goes left and right. You look right, it appears to go down quite a ways. You look left. It continues for a few hundred feet or a few hundred yards, and then you see it kind of open up. You see some like iron bars, some iron statues of different demons and such on that road. You look back to your right and it just continues going through these just buildings, iron buildings, one after another. You do see a few cuts of alleyways and roadways that do cross across it, but mostly it's just a straight shot away.
I'm sorry, are you giving me options of where to go?
Yes, left or
just
right, basically.
descriptions? I'm sorry, I was relying on the roll to inform me where I should go. That's why I rolled it.
Well,
Yeah, no,
if you
I'm confused too.
okay. So if you look, like I said, you look right, it continues to go for an unknown amount of distance. You look left, you see what appears to be opening into almost like a courtyard area. So depends on if you want to go continue down a street or if you want to go towards a more populated courtyard.
Can we still see the people?
Yeah, you do see a few people start kind of mingling in that courtyard area with like the kind of statues and the different barge structures and stuff like that. You do see a few different races of beings in there.
Would I notice anything that might give away any particular resistance members?
Make a perception check.
Okay.
And actually, anyone who's looking can make a perception check since he showed you the symbol of what to look for.
I'm not going to. Nick, what I'd like to do is take one of my spears and press it firmly against the ground so the end burns. These are non-magical spears.
Okay.
And then use the soot and the burnt part from that to smear over the holy symbol on the front of my shield. I just realized that might give me away to people who can see through.
Yeah, oh, fair enough. Yeah, just in case they can see through your disguise. That is a good idea.
Yeah.
All right. Orpheus with an 8, you don't really notice anything. Rain with a 16, Arnon with an 8, neither one of you.
I fell and hit my head.
Yeah. However, Elric and Rhett, you guys...
Be quiet about it.
Yeah. So you look and you do
I don't know if you
notice-
heard it, but I farted a little bit when I did it.
So you notice a little bit of movement going into that courtyard. So you kind of like wander up towards, kind of trying to stick to the shadows and the walls as much as possible. You do feel quite a bit of residual heat coming off the wall, and it's very, very uncomfortable. But you do feel fairly confident that you're still being somewhat sneaky. You walk up to the edge of this courtyard, and it's pretty much just a giant intersection of roadways. You have like almost like the spokes of a wagon wheel all coming together, and there's this centralized like these bars around this centralized kind of tower, not the tower that you saw before, but just this like smaller like obelisk in the middle, surrounded by almost like a wrought iron fence. While you guys are looking around, Elric and Rhett, you peer across the square to an alley, a small alley on the opposite side. Standing there in the shadows, they're kind of back against the wall, kind of peering out. You see a lavender-skinned male tiefling with long black hair. You see them kind of like looking around, looks back and forth. Then you see him start waving towards the courtyard. You look past where he's waving, and you see a small group of humans look around and rush into the alley past him. He kind of like taps each one on their shoulder as they pass by. He appears to be trying to stay unseen. As the last human,
I tell everybody what we saw.
as the last human passes him, he kind of takes a small step out and kind of looks back and forth a little bit, kind of taking one final look around. Real quick. As he looks around, you kind of notice that he stops and he appears to be looking directly in your guys' area, in your direction, before he turns and disappears into the alleyway.
Man, what is it
How
with
far away is he?
everyone?
He's on the other side of this courtyard, so at this distance, probably between 100 and 150 feet.
Do we see anybody else?
That's the only person that you saw that piqued your interest. I mean, you see a few devils kind of making their rounds, kind of look like city guards. You do see a few of them, very, very few, like less than 5 other races kind of mingling and meandering and kind of trying to keep to themselves and not draw any attention. But in this courtyard alone, there's probably, less than 30 people.
I think if they shared that information, should we check it out?
I mean, crossing the courtyard. which means we'll probably have to act natural.
Are there any vendors in this courtyard?
You don't notice anything that looks like a vendor, no.
Oh man, kind of hungry.
I try to shove a ration in the empty space above the beer
No,
bottles.
no, it's fine. I'm good.
All right.
I just
Oh,
want to
we were
remind
saying-
everybody while we're here, look out for the statues. They're sentries.
Do we see any statues?
Make a perception check.
Well, no, I mean, I feel like wouldn't that, if we're looking around, like, wouldn't that be included in our last perception check?
I mean, Rhett.
I rolled a 1. To
I
look
mean,
for statues.
Rain also didn't notice it in the first one. 25 for Rhett. Yeah, you did notice one statue of Dispater off to the side of the courtyard.
It doesn't have a convenient beam
Would it be
coming
in
out
our-
of a crystal that we can dodge, right?
Not really familiar too much with how it. Yeah, there's not really a beam, like a necessary focused beam per se.
How do the statues work, Orpheus? How does that work again? Like, what happens if it notices us? Like, how
I might
could it
need-
notice us, and what would happen?
I might need Nick's reminders to remember, but I think it was that they're basically like scrying eyes or something.
Yeah, more or less. They
They act as eyes and ears.
correct.
For the-
yeah, the statues of Dispater act as scrying stones, basically.
So we want to be discreet as much as possible.
How do they
and avoid the statues if we can.
communicate?
Well, they see your every move.
Well, how would they communicate, like, back to wherever, like
Someone
what they're
has to look
seeing or
through
not
them.
seeing? Like, would it be out of the ordinary for one to malfunction?
You're not that familiar with them. Even Orpheus is not that familiar. He doesn't know whether or not they malfunction on a regular basis or not.
Do we see a way into that alley avoiding the statue?
What did you roll on your perception? A 20? If you skirted the edge of it, you could. However, you are also, in broad, open courtyard. So
Can it only face one direction though, or is it like multi-directional?
no, it's a fixed statue.
like,
So
does it have a 360 view, or
as far as you're aware, as far as Orpheus is aware, it only faces the way that the face of the statue is facing, which the face of the statue is looking directly into the courtyard.
Like the CCTV cameras in London?
Yeah, more or less.
Now,
Because they're
this
everywhere.
this is going to be a
weird idea
weird question.
about to be a bad pitch?
Oh, you go first.
What if, like, as we're getting closer, I can use my unseen servant to either, like, cause some sort of distraction. Maybe it's like bothering other people, and like other people that are already existing in the courtyard, like that causes them to kind of make some sort of commotion of some kind, which could maybe provide enough of a distraction for us to get by. Or
I-
unseen servant just straight up like puts something over its eyes and ears and we just fucking book it.
Well, this
Like, but we would have to get in within, like,
There's probably so many of these statues that
Yeah.
the best thing to do is not give anyone any reason to bother looking through the eyes of this one.
Just walk like we're supposed to be here.
Yeah, own it.
okay.
I would like to do that before they.
Sounds like we're going to be acting natural.
Those natural ones.
all right. So
Is this a bad time to practice our ministry of silly walks?
This might be the worst time.
So you guys are crossing the crossing to the other alley then?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Hold on one second. So as you walk across, Is that? Hold on one second. Just checking something. Okay, cool. Jesus. All right. So as you walk across, and you enter, you walk across, you do notice a couple of the devils kind of look towards you, but continue walking their route. Nobody really seems to care that you're there. They don't really notice or seem to mind at all. As you walk into this alleyway, what's the marching order?
I'll go first.
I think I'd be 2nd or
I'll follow
third.
behind Arnon.
I like to be in the middle. So
I'll go behind Arnon just for like the ranger and perception stuff.
Arnon,
I guess
Rhett,
I can be at
Elric,
the back, watching our rear.
Arnon, Rhett, Elric, Butch,
Which Rain,
Rain,
Orpheus.
Orpheus.
and then Orpheus. All right. So as you walk into this alley, go ahead and make one more perception check for me, specifically Arnon and Rhett.
Should we all do it or just them?
I mean, you all can, but they're going to be the first ones that enter the...
Dirty 20.
18.
I never. Ugh, I knew it was only going to last so long.
All right, so as you all walk into this alley... Oh, shit. Hold on one second. Stupid thing. Give me a second, just trying to figure something out. Oh, you fucker. What the hell? Foundry
This
is...
technical difficulty
yeah.
is.
Foundry is being Foundry.
Yep. This technical difficulty could be brought to you by an ad, if we had one. Ad people watching.
That's right.
Sponsor us.
That's right. So as you guys enter this alleyway, you notice that you're in between a couple buildings. The alleyway continues for quite a while, and then the buildings on the respective sides each have small little like juts between opposing buildings. You continue walking forward, with it getting darker and darker the farther you get into here, just because of how tall the buildings are and the light not being able to hit down. You get probably about 50 feet into this building when all of a sudden, Arnon, you notice, let's see if first off, let's see if it actually hits. Oh, that's 27. Make me a strength saving throw.
Uh-oh.
Arnon.
That's not a good one for me. $12.
So, what the rest of you guys see is this white, what looks like a bandage, fling out and wrap around Arnon's neck as he is then pulled 20 feet towards this alleyway. And what you see is standing behind him. I don't know why I'm doing this without activating this map because I'm an idiot. Is that same purple lavender skinned tiefling has a fist up next to Arnon's face. He's like, "Who are you?"
Steve.
Roll a deception check.
Another one of my strong suits. 2.
Still fist right up next.
Sorry,
He doesn't
He
believe
gets
that I'm
nervous.
Steve.
You see the wrap around Arnin's throat. He's standing behind him. You see the wrap is actually coming off of one of his arms, very much like the Ragman in DC. And he's got another fist up, like aimed right at his temple. I'm going to ask you again: who are you, and why are you following me?
My name is Steve, and I am not following you.
Oh
Don't.
Can
we're
we
looking
hear
for
this? I feel like
Everybody thought that was a bad idea.
Everybody, all of you have entered the alley. All of you see what's going on.
Okay, we're looking for the burning heart.
How do you know the burning heart?
bleeding.
Hold on.
How do you?
Wait. Steve hit his head. He actually literally just fell a few moments ago. And Steve hit his head a little bit. So we're just trying to have him come along with us and calm down a little bit. So we're just letting him be Steve for a while. We're happy to answer some questions honestly for you.
How do you know the bleeding heart?
I pull my
I didn't mention the
Flag
bleeding
from
heart.
my
I'll let
armor.
somebody else answer that.
What, Orpheus? You pulled out the.
I pull out the symbol from under my armor.
You see look over. You see this man look over, and you see the wrap release from Arnin's throat, and just like of its own volition, just rewrap itself around his wrist. So now and you notice that both of his arms almost have like the boxing wraps, like the wraps before you put the gloves on, of just this like white bandage. He kind of takes a step back. You notice that he has almost like a monk style robe. He lifts it slightly, and you do see an undershirt with that same symbol on it. Are you part of the resistance?
I am, though I've been gone for quite a while.
How do I know you're not spies?
We are too dumb to be spies.
Clearly, if you thought that Steve deception would work.
For the record, I didn't think it would work.
He really did hit his head.
Is this tiefling the same as
It
the
just
general?
happened.
Are you saying I'm not
It's
Steve?
the same race as the general. Yeah, the general's a tiefling. As
They have
well.
identical voices. I
It's
love
okay,
it.
Steve. It's all right.
How the fuck do you know I'm not Steve?
For the love of we need help with breaking someone out of a
You think-
prison.
Is there maybe
Mentiri?
somewhere a
And
little?
in general, we just need help. Like,
Let's-
in life.
Oh my god.
Roll a persuasion check. I'm going to give it to Rhett with advantage from everyone else. Go ahead and roll a persuasion check.
Help me
You're
if you
definitely
can.
getting
I'm
most
feeling
of that
down.
advantage from Steve.
Oh my god.
No, Steve gives disadvantage, so no.
Don't make it a flat roll. I'll punch him right in the face.
20.
20.
Steve, of course.
Dirty.
You see this tiefling kind of relax. You see the muscles relax quite a bit. If you truly were a part of the resistance, even if you were gone for a while, maybe we can talk. Follow me. And he kind of dips back into that alleyway.
Oh god, how small is this door gonna be?
Perfectly turtle-sized.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be
Let's
fine.
go.
Are you following?
Shove Butcher in from the back.
I follow.
Yeah.
Immediately
I mean-
follow.
So you guys
I'm
follow,
headed that way.
and this dude is
I will duck and move through sideways.
fast, and typically you would not be able to keep up with him, but because of Arnin's abilities of reading street views and reading the city alleyway layouts and everything, you guys are able to more or less keep up with him. A couple times he's got to kind of stop and wait for you to catch up. You guys travel for what has to be, a few city blocks at least before he comes up to what looks like a cellar door, like kind of angled, and he reaches down and kind of knocks a few times in a pattern. And you hear this like this large shifting of wood and metal underneath it and then the door creaks open and you see a small little dwarf woman looking out, kind of older dwarf woman, looks out and kind of looks around, sees this tiefling, opens it up, and he says, I brought a few more. So you all rush down this flight of stairs, probably descending about 20, 25 feet into a subterranean room. And what you see here is...
I gotta step away a second.
You're good. What you see here is like what was once a cellar, a basement of a building. The walls are kind of half dilapidated, stones falling in on themselves. You do see a couple hallways jutting out from either side. You see that same group of humans that you saw him rush through the alleyway, standing in the center of this room. You see this elderly dwarf woman standing there, a couple other more in their prime humans kind of tending to this group. And this tiefling kind of stands up and looks around like, well, now that we are a little safer, maybe some proper introductions.
I'll drop the disguise from
That
my
would be
hat.
super.
He just kind of shakes his head a little bit. Looks slightly confused, but also relieved that there's not a devil standing in his company anymore.
Viva la resistance.
I was hoping that that was the case.
No, my name is actually Butch, and this is my friend Steve.
You're still not giving up the Steve, are you?
Oh my god.
Well, that's up to you, Steve.
Right now, he identifies as Steve. It's not a lie. That's just how he's currently identifying.
Yeah,
Whatever.
kind of a fluid identity.
My name-
No, I am Butch Deadlift. I am a cleric to the Mystic Seer, Senini Moonbow.
It's been a long time since I've heard that name. My name is Casil.
What was that again?
Casil.
She said Castiel. And I was
No.
like,
How do you-
okay.
How do you spell that?
Casil.
I'm pretty sure it's Cassteel. The folks at home, Castile.
No.
Oh my god.
Was there a
The
T?
Grundle
No,
Tractors.
it's Casil.
That's what I thought. All right.
Now, Butch, Steve, the rest of you. What's, you mentioned breaking someone out of Mintiri.
We did.
We're here to free a soul.
A soul. That makes things a bit...
A dear friend
complicated.
that we love very much.
But perhaps... so
A
what is
patriot.
what is your plan?
A close group member.
He won't even say it
Uh,
now.
I-
He's not great at expressing his emotions, but this is a dear friend that we love very much, Steve included.
Fantastic.
The plan was a prison break by way of a large distraction.
Prison break by a large distraction. That might be a little tricky if you're going into the Bastille of Souls.
What makes it tricky?
Well, if you were going to the Bastille of Flesh, there is the... We know of a way in, but... We're
Why not?
not familiar with a direct route into the Bastille of Souls.
Are they not like two wings to one building?
They are, but they are not on... I mean, the Bastille of Souls and the Bastille... They are two separate wings, yes. We have a direct
Separate.
line that we are able to smuggle things in and out of the Bastille of Flesh. But it is not close to the Bastille of Souls.
Are they close enough that if the distraction was big enough in the Bastille of Flesh, that maybe it would pull people away from the Bastille of Souls?
It's possible.
Those wings don't shift like the rest of this town, do they?
As far as I am aware, the prison is more or less static.
That's a small mercy.
When are you planning this jailbreak?
I think
that
that
depends upon our means of exit from this realm.
That is another... That was my next question, was how the fuck do you expect to get out of here?
Well, we have a way available, but it's not available for another 4 days.
Well,
If there is a faster way, we'd like to free the soul ASAP. If not, we'll have to wait 4 days.
well, I can tell you that our typical smuggling routes, we don't have anything on the books for quite a while. Probably significantly longer than the 4 days you would have to wait.
4 days it is then.
You are more than welcome to stay here. It is safe. It's not the most comfortable place, but at least it is safe.
Do you have like a cool room?
Why are you offering this kindness to us?
Because your friend here, not only does he have our symbol, I have seen him before. He
Where'd you see
he
him?
would not
And you see him now.
he would not remember me. I was not part of his group. However, there are fractions, there are cells of our organization throughout this. And a person that I am close with talked about, I'm assuming it was him. I could be completely mistaken and you all could be fucking me for all I know. But there was a story of a man similar to him. Orpheus, I believe. To which Orpheus says, yes, that's me. Since he's on baby watch right now.
I believe it's Orifice.
Orpheus.
He helped quite a few people escape. And it's because of him that I am willing to trust you.
We appreciate your generosity.
I would be able to, assuming the plane shift spell works from the second level of hell, I could plane shift one person back to the material plane each day from you and your fellows here.
You can do that?
Well, Sunny Moonbow can do that through me.
That would be greatly appreciated. There's quite a few people here, and he points around to the few more commoners that you see around that group that he brought through. Not only these, but we have quite a few in the bunks in the back that we've been trying to find ways to get them out for a while now.
I cannot promise where you would end up, but it would be somewhere safe.
That would be very helpful.
I'm not going to have much to do for the next 4 days, so if there's any way we can help pay you for your kindness, my services are available.
We appreciate it. So, we have, like I said, our spot here is pretty barren, but it's safe, and it's been a very long time since any devils have made their way down here.
Does this stay in the same spot?
It shifts every once in a while, but it is rare when it does, and typically it is not far of a move.
So the wings don't move, but this room moves.
Yes, you are. This is not actually part of Mentiri. Mentiri is what stays. The prison
Okay.
stays.
Okay.
Are
Do
there
you have
any?
any information?
I was just
do you have
about to
any
ask if there's
information?
any other questions that you had for me.
Any specifics at all on the Bastille of Souls?
I have never set foot in there. Neither have any of my people here.
It
They're-
sounds like we're going in blind.
Unfortunately.
You never talked to anybody who came out of it?
I do know. It is very rare that a soul is freed from the Bastille of Souls. I do know that from rumor and speculation, that the Bastille of Souls is sectioned off by different qualities of the souls. For example, there's sections for the people who were killed down here in the hells and their souls were trapped there. There's sections for people who have sold their soul, then were stuck in that contract or without that contract, broke that contract. There are sections for various sins. There are very few people who find their way into the Bastille of Souls who are actual sinners in their life. It is more of the undamned that somehow end up here.
Do they come out the same? I mean, are they different at all by the time they come out?
The whole point of Mentiri in a whole, both flesh and soul, is to corrupt the undamned, so that way when they do come out, they are transformed into devils, the lesser devils. Specifically, when we're talking about flesh, the people who are captured down here and imprisoned are taken in there, tortured, corrupted, then executed. So that way their soul then is transformed into the Lemures and other lower demons, devils. The Bastille of Souls is, like I said, trapped, undamned souls that are tortured and in efforts to corrupt them as well, and then they will transform into whatever devils or creatures they're needed.
How long does corruption take?
That depends on the person. Someone who is weak of spirit might be fairly quick. whereas there are people who've supposedly there are rumors of people who have been in there for centuries.
There's really no way of telling.
Well, that sucks.
I just hope this friend of yours has a strong will.
She's stubborn.
That's the start.
Definitely strong-willed. All we can hope is that it holds.
Yeah.
He walks over to Orpheus and says, I have heard of you. I have heard your name. There was a dwarf who... Razir, I think he escaped. And this is a name you recognize as somebody who you spent time with in your little cell of the Resistance. He would tell me stories of this human with ridiculously blue eyes and black hair that helped out quite a few people while you were down here. If that is indeed you, I thank you for everything that you did.
Any chance to get back at the rulers of Dis for what they did to my men? It doesn't need thanks.
He just kind of nods. So, he looks around to all of you. Well, apparently you have 4 days. We know that we've gotten pretty good at timing the shifts, and we know that our hideout here will probably shift tomorrow and then stay put for about a week. You will not notice the shift. You just kind of wake up and things are in a different spot. But as I stated, you are free to stay here as long as you need.
Any chance we'll get shifted right next to the Bastille of Souls?
I mean, it's always a possibility.
Okay.
We can't really foresee where the shift will take us.
When did you say that was happening?
Probably tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, guys. I can cast a divination. I don't know how much Sunny Momo. I don't know how good the Lunar Lady's information might be regarding the Bastilles, but I can cast a divination and see what information I can get. So if you have ideas, you think about it. We have some time, but the day before we go in, I think I'm going to drop that spell and pick up a one that's going to be more useful.
Not a bad start.
Real quick, everybody make a perception check for me.
Perception.
Oh boy.
You say perception?
Yes.
Dirty 20. Unnatural 20.
24 for Rhett.
Natural 1. 8.
Butch rolls on with a 16.
Okay. Orpheus, Butch, Elric, Rain, don't really notice anything. Arnon and Rhett, there's something familiar about this guy. You can't quite put your finger on it, but there's something about this man that's very familiar. almost like
Generally familiar.
you're not quite sure, but there's something familiar about this man.
Cecile?
Yeah.
What's he got around him?
What do you mean?
He drink and eat anything? Is he at a desk? Is he
Not all tieflings are related.
reading anything?
It's the second tiefling we've met, and they look familiar.
Well,
I'm gonna try. Oh wait, it's not me.
They have the
Never
same
mind.
accent.
what I'm doing
They have the
is
same
trying to
accent.
notice other details.
Does he have a charcuterie board around him?
No, there's no charcuterie board. No, he is currently standing there. Like I said, he has these kind of like loose fitting clothes on, the wraps around his wrists. Very martial gear, but he's just kind of standing in the middle or in front of you guys currently.
He doesn't look
Put
like
my
a
finger on it,
person
but
that-
you seem familiar. I'd
Use
love
your
to hear your
insight
story.
rolls.
You want to hear my story?
To hear your story, I want to know more about you.
Does he have a Russian
You
accent?
seem really interesting, and we got a lot of time.
He has a slight accent.
Ask him if he likes circuses.
I swear to God. Oh my God.
He's a circus.
How about
guy.
no?
Now that you mention it.
No. I'm out. I'm done. I'll see you all at never. Bye. that's the next step.
I'll see you all at never.
Well, what exactly do you want to know about me? I have been in this place trying to help out these people for a very long time.
What do you get out of helping? Like, what's
A sense
the?
of purpose.
I mean, I just want to know your story. So you tell me. I feel like DM. I feel like you're trying to trap me into not giving me information, and all I want is it. Come on, Nick.
There has to be some sort of narrative flow to the information. I'm not just gonna fucking like, if I wanted you to I just fucking write a book and hand it to you.
The thing, if
That
there's
sounds like
okay,
an exciting episode.
I think that everyone listening and everyone in this chat can relate to. Hey, we've been like sometimes people spend a lot of time together. They get to drinking and then they tell their whole damn life story. So like, come on.
I mean, if you
like
want
we
to-
got time.
If you want some drinks, we can go back and get some drinks. I mean, that's fine. I've got
Go-
Love some drinks. Let's get some drinks and
Alchemy
let's talk about our lives. We got
Let's not go
time.
back outside. Let's just use the alchemy jug.
I mean, we don't need to go outside. We can just go around the corner right there. It's inside the...
Like where we are is in, like the inn/bar thing.
Yeah.
How quiet do we have to be?
We don't... down here, the walls are thick. There's...
Okay.
Party
I'll
and get
sit-
to know each other.
I'll sit down and pull out my flute and play.
Would Rain, knowing the general so well, get any inkling that they could be connected in any way, or would she be like, nah, then it's unlikely?
Like, what kind of connection?
Like, whether, I guess if they're related or come from a similar siblings work.
The general
like-
has never mentioned any siblings or any close family members.
Okay.
The general generally doesn't like us
Well, the
The general,
all the time,
the
so I
general-
don't think they would be like,
well,
hey, let's be buddies.
The general and Rain are close. The general and Rain are
That's
very
fair.
close.
That's fair.
So you guys congregate. He takes you down the right-hand corridor, and you see like basically almost like a stock room that's kind of been transformed into almost like a social like tavern-esque type. You see barrels and boxes stacked in the corner, and you do see like some boxes perched up as seats, a couple barrels set up, and like a general seating area. You do see some open boxes with a few bottles and stuff. And he goes, well, getting anything that's halfway palatable down here is damn near impossible, so I would be more than... I don't want to impose, but if you have something that doesn't taste like the shit that they serve down here, that would be... I would be forever grateful.
What do we have in our jug right now?
I don't think you've used the jug yet.
It was full of ale, and then I don't know that we refilled it. What's your favorite drink?
I have not had a good ale in I don't even know how long.
Who has the jug?
Been a minute.
It's been a
Probably
a
Butch,
hot minute.
honestly. But he's in the other room playing his flute, so.
I'm gonna walk back to Butch. Say, can I borrow that jug for a second?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna take the jug. Only think about a decent ale and nothing else. And I'm gonna walk back to Casil. And
Fantastic.
anybody else.
And
who's in
then
here.
I'll chill it. I'll chill it with my fancy fingers.
Love it.
Ooh, nice.
Pour some. He takes a swig. It just like downs half of the drink.
I'm gonna set the jug down and like take a cup back to Butch and then come back.
Fantastic.
Ooh,
Don't feel left out.
thank you.
Classy move.
So you want to know my story? He says.
Yep.
Kind of takes another long drink. He's like, I don't know how long it's been since I've been down here. Time is funny in places like this. But if I were to guess, it would probably be about 15 years. I've been stuck
50?
here. 15. 15 years. And you see him kind of stop for a second. Take another drink. Ever since my sister died, and I got sent here, it has been my goal to help others, so no one else would feel the same pain that I did.
Why did you get sent here when she died?
I'm still not entirely sure what happened.
How'd she die? If you don't mind.
So, to tell you that story, I have to go back to the beginning. It was just the two of us growing up. Our human parents disliked the idea of not only having one tiefling as a child, but having twins. So they cast us out. We grew up protecting each other. Then one day, when we were probably around 16 or so, we were running through the alleyways of Rockriot, which is a city from where we come from, when we were ambushed by a gang of what we thought were just run-of-the-mill thieves. Before I knew it, they had me, held me down, 4 of them. 4 of them were attacking my sister. She was bleeding heavily. I tried to break free. I got a few good hits on one of the ones that were holding me. And then the next thing I knew, I was here. Laying in the burning streets of Dis. Like I said, time is weird down here. I don't know how long it has been, but the best I can say is probably 15 years or so. And
What
since
was your
that
sister's
day-
name?
Since that day, I have done my best to try and help people. I just remember the light fading in my sister's eyes right before I woke up here.
What was her name? Or you don't remember?
My sister's name?
Yes.
My sister's name was Calliope.
Back together. Rain doesn't give him the bird. That's just from me to you. Okay.
We know your sister.
My sister is dead.
I mean, so was our so is the person we're looking for, and we're gonna bring her back.
Make a persuasion check.
Who?
A Rain or Rhett at advantage.
I know people that have been dead before.
I'm gonna bow out to Rhett.
Yeah. Right. Listen, I say yeah, and then I'm probably gonna have the worst fucking roll of my life.
I mean,
Yeah.
still a 15. That's still not bad. He just kind of takes a step back and...
That was perception.
Wait.
Oh, that was perception. That was not...
You have
Shit.
silver tongue.
Oh, dude, my bad.
I mean, her silver tongue only goes to 14 anyway, so...
Oh, fair.
It's still 14.
Not better.
So 14. Okay.
It kind of take a step back and kind of like sit down on one of the barrels and says, "What? How would you know that she was?" I'm sorry, I'm not.
Are there a lot of tieflings that share the name Calliope, or is that unique from your experience?
Does anybody have minor image?
I don't.
I mean, she was the only one that I knew, but I also didn't run into a lot of tieflings.
Butch, use the hat. Show him Calliope.
I'm in the other room.
Yell for him.
I'm not here.
Yell-
Hey,
You all want to-
Butch,
Yeah.
come here.
Okay. I go on in.
Put your hat of disguise on. Make yourself look like the general.
The general.
I don't say your name. Yeah, our general.
All right. Let's see. To do a specific person, that's probably, is that performance or?
Yeah, I'll say performance roll.
Can Rhett give him?
Should I
Yeah.
take the hat back and do it instead?
I got an 11 on my performance. How close do I look? It requires attunement, so. I mean, that's fine.
Can
if you
she
wanna do
help
that.
him along and give him advantage with her makeup kit, or I mean disguise kit?
Yeah, just
You
give me
can-
pointers.
You can give him a bardic inspiration. You can't really use a makeup kit on an illusion.
No.
I meant disguise.
But you can
can't
remind me
use a
like what her
disguise.
ears look like and what her color her eyes are.
So
and
go. I
fix
mean,
the cheekbones.
if you would like to have said that you gave him bardic inspiration, you can. But I think that would be your last one for the day.
It will. I don't care.
All right.
Well, out of 5,
16.
16.
It's a little crude, but it looks. It kind of looks like an AI generated version of the general.
Oh no!
Like the eyes
It looks
might
like
be
our live stream.
Yeah, the eyes might be a little wonked out, but like
Come on,
it's-
I can do a. Come on.
I'm just gonna cover up the eyes and be like, you see who we
seeing the two now that you have the general's visage right there, you see the resemblance between the two. You see the same facial structure, whereas the general's is a little more round, the Castile's a little more angular, but you see the same eyes, the same horn makeup, very similar facial features between the two, and he just damn near falls down onto his chair and says, what kind of witchcraft is this? What you?
Does Arnon think that Cassiel's hot too?
I don't know. Does he?
It's up to you, man. It's up to you, Steve.
Well, Steve doesn't know.
Steve.
Again with the Steve.
So I think she probably got healed. There's time and opportunity. I don't know how you got
And
here though.
he
Rain and
Or
Calliope
you-
are pretty close.
Or you saw her get knocked unconscious.
She's never mentioned a sibling.
I guess.
Or our generals are wreck shop.
Maybe because it's too painful and she thinks he's dead.
Everyone in this group knows at least 2 people that have been dead before.
Yeah.
I guess I never actually did see her.
Roll
I mean,
dice.
actually dead. We all know of at least 2 people in the last month that were dead.
I saw her get. She was bleeding.
Art.
She was bleeding quite a bit. She was bleeding profusely, and I saw her eyes roll back. I assumed she was dead, but I didn't. I didn't have a chance to. Next thing I knew, I was here. I never got a chance to actually see. I assumed for the past 15 years, I've assumed that she was dead. If I knew she was alive, and he's just kind of floundering. I stayed. I didn't think I had anything to go back to, so I stayed here and to help other people.
We can take you back to her with us.
Yeah.
Happy to do that.
We have the room.
On the other hand, there's a whole lot of souls you're helping here.
It doesn't mean he can't come back. We might end up back here.
And it
depending
doesn't mean
upon
that
the
he
amulet.
can't help people, other people on the surface too. It doesn't mean he can't help both.
It's true.
This is going to take me a minute to process this. You're telling me my sister is alive?
Do you want more ale?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Great. And I just come over and I just like put our arm around and freaking just ale fest.
We're
As soon as
telling
you-
2023.
that our general is a purple tiefling that looks like that. Named
I'm gonna-
Calliope.
You see
That's what we're telling you.
Rhett, when you go up and put your arm around him, you do see his getting this close. You do see the wetness in his eyes and the small tears starting in both the corners of his eyes. And with that, we're going to take a break because it's after 10 o'clock.
Hold on.
So we will be back in about 5 minutes to continue. So bye-bye. Stay with us. Hello, and we are back. So,
Buttons.
and we have a broken Lindsay.
Oh
So,
no.
I was laughing at Sam. Sorry.
spitting her water out.
It's your fault.
No.
I tried to
Sam.
take Tylenol as you said that, and then I was like, "Well, that's
Over-
coming back up."
Over the break, I was checking
We're
our
having a
script,
ladies' laugh sesh.
and right here it says that they believe that I'm Steve.
Oh my god.
Did you go off script, Nick?
Did you
What the
go
fuck?
off script?
Gets
It
fucking-
says right here that they believe
Yeah.
that I'm Steve.
Hashtag believe in Steve. That's
hashtag. Get
I mean,
fucked.
I
I
believe
believe
in
it, Steve.
Steve.
I believe
You've
in
made me look a fool yet again,
Of course.
Marlat.
Anyway,
I don't believe that Steve's exists.
as you, this not so much of a bomb is dropped on you. That
Baby.
theoretically
I dropped a bomb on you.
the
baby.
general has a long lost twin brother in this episode of Guiding Light.
Is he an evil twin brother?
No, he doesn't have a goatee.
That's a reference that's too old for us, Nick. What are you doing?
So would
It was the first soap opera I thought of.
what is the other one called? Like A Day in Our Lives? Once.
Yeah, A Day in Our Lives. That's
Yeah.
a much better.
And not The Young and the Restless.
Maybe General Calliope Hospital.
Oh, God damn it. Writing itself. It's literally writing itself.
Oh shit. Anyway,
I am impacting all of you by making you think of puns constantly. Pun Bard wins.
so
Passions. That's the last
Puns
one.
and
You're
puns
just
and reference
enabling
puns.
me.
Could Rain dig in their memory for any like Calliope once told me they died. Or she died. Or something. Or hinted at it or anything.
make a history check.
History.
Or maybe she has some scars.
History. The history of you.
Like sands in the
19.
hourglass, so are the tieflings of our lives.
Okay, with the 19, you search your memory. Rain searches their memory, and you think back. You don't remember her ever saying that she died. You do remember quite a few times or quite a few stories of like back alley brawls with people in growing up in Rock Rialt. You do remember her saying about basically being on her own. You don't remember her ever mentioning a brother.
Did she ever explicitly tell you that she did not have a brother?
She never specifically said that she did not have a brother either.
So not a lot to confirm the story as he's told it.
No, like a lot of the details sounded similar to things that Calliope has told you about, you know, being on their own, not really having much of a family growing up, kind of living in alleyways, back alley brawls, stuff like that. But it sounded similar. It was a very similar story, but there was no, like I said, no mention of any kind of brother or sibling.
She revealed to the party way back when that like she was connected to Levistus in some fashion, right?
Basically, it was the fact that her tiefling blood had some sort of connection to Levistus. Yes,
So his would too.
theoretically, yes.
And that may be something Rain might have learned from Calliope.
Yeah, I would say yes.
Okay.
So, with a 19 also, you would know that tieflings specifically can be born to human parents due to a deal that was struck with a demon. In not necessarily specifically the parents made a deal, but somebody in that like lineage had made a deal at some point with a demon or a devil, and eventually that deal results in a tiefling child being born to human parents.
She went to Levistus Fair once in college, but that was just like a phase.
Is that like Lilith Fair?
Oh, God.
Probably
Dick,
nothing like
are you
Lilith
saying
Fair,
that because
to be
you know I
honest.
went to Lilith Fair?
No, not at all.
Like
did
that
not know
happened
that
in
about
8th
you.
grade. I went to Lilith Fair like in 8th grade.
In 8th grade?
Educated guesses happen every day.
That's right.
And that was
feel
an
old.
educated guess specifically aimed at you.
But yeah,
A lot of people went to Lilith Fair.
to answer your question, no, there's no specific any specific points so far that makes you believe 100%, but you also have no reason to doubt what he is saying either.
I mean, this guy's clearly a badass. We know that the general's a badass. So
Today, Perry will be played by Perry the Platypus, apparently, with that.
He's taken off.
So, as he is sitting there, kind of zoning out at this point to this news that his sister, who for the past 15 years he thought was dead, could potentially be alive, he just kind of almost like breaks reality a little bit. He's just kind of lost in his own thought.
Holy disassociating.
Yeah, complete.
can I continue playing the uplifting, hopeful song I rolled a 20 on? My
Absolutely.
performance? All right, sounds good. And I will do that rather than engage.
Is there any reading material around?
Make an investigation check.
With
Trying
advantage
harder
because
to-
I like books.
No.
Well, shit.
Let's hurry through the next 4 days.
You get advantage just because.
27.
You do notice a couple scraps of paper in amongst all of these boxes and stuff. There are a couple books. They seem
Anything by Terry Pratchett?
no. They seem a little like not in the best of shape. Some are kind of dry rotted. Some are falling apart. There is, you kind of flip through some of the pages that don't instantly disintegrate. Couple like recounting of historical events, one in a place that you're not familiar with the name of. Hold, please. One book says a history of Yurd. And
Is that like adjacent to GERD? Like, is it a stomach problem?
I mean, you can read the book and find out, but
Any copies of Taken by the Tanaruk?
I'm sorry, what?
Taken by the Tanaruk?
No.
It's a human demon romance.
No. So, but a couple books in the back. Just nothing super entertaining or exciting, but you do find a couple things that you could flip through.
I do so.
Fantastic.
Does he also know Infernal? Can I learn from more than one person? I mean, I'm sure he's not in a place that he would want to teach me that right now, but I'm
Man,
also
so
sure
Fucking
that,
stunned and half grieving, and you're like, "Can you teach me Tiefling?"
Is there like a pet or anything that?
no, I'm just like, it's for future knowledge. I'm not asking. Like, I'm asking
You-
the DM, not.
You
You're
would
like, "I
know
have silver tongue. Nothing I ask is rude."
Tieflings typically, as far as you know, all tieflings have an inherent knowledge of Infernal.
Okay.
Rain, what were you asking?
Just trying to think if there was like a pet or a symbol or something that Calliope ever mentioned from their childhood that I could shape water into and like comfort him with.
I mean,
Aw.
you know that spending most of their time on more or less on the streets growing up
Yeah.
didn't really
Pet
have
rats?
pets.
So they're like from the streets.
Yeah, they're from the streets.
They go
I
hard.
mean, they could have a pet rat.
I'm gonna ask him if do you need some I know this is a lot of information. Do you need some time alone right now, or do you want us around? Do you want to ask us some questions about what we know? We don't, not all of us know her very well, but what do you need? Because you've been kind to us. We'd like to be kind to you. What do you need?
I appreciate that, and this is kind of a lot, but it's for half of my life I was under the assumption that my sister died that night. So it is a lot, but you're telling me not only is she alive, but she's a she's a general?
Yeah, she's like a really big deal. She's a really big deal.
Okay.
You should be very proud of her.
What can you tell me about her?
I think would Rain probably be the best person to.
She's great. She's not. I mean,
She's real top tier.
Well, she's a little icy sometimes, a little
she's cool,
hard
bro.
around the edges, but she's great. Once you chip away at that a little bit. I don't know if that's how she was as a kid.
Yes.
I can't honestly imagine her as a kid, if I'm being honest.
To be honest, it's very hard to imagine her as a kid because we grew up very quickly, so she was always a little hot-headed, to be completely honest. She would rush in without thinking, which is how we ended up in that situation in the first place. I was so mad at her for so long because of it.
Well, she's still super hot headed.
Let's remember, he hit his head. Sorry about that.
I mean-
you might not want to hear that about your sister.
She's not.
That night,
I was agreeing with him.
we were trying to we picked up a job. We did a lot of odd jobs back then just to kind of feed ourselves and keep ourselves somewhat protected. We were told that these people were smuggling in some contraband into Rockrealt at the behest of these fancy, wealthy jackasses that owned way too much property than they were worth. And we were told that they were smuggling in contraband, and we were tasked by the local kind of city watch guild, I guess would be the best way to put it, to find out what they were taking and stop them, arrest them. I guess citizens arrest, more or less, basically tie them up and call the authorities. So we were waiting on the curve in an alleyway when we saw this group approach, and I tried to get Callie to just wait, but as is typical, she fucking rushed right in with swords waving and fucking tried to stop them instantly by herself, and what we thought were 2 people ended up being about 8. Next thing I knew, well, I already told you, they had her. 3 of them, 4 of them, I think, held me down while the other 4 attacked her. Like I said, the next thing I knew, I was here. I mean, clearly I know magic. I mean, even Callie had a little bit of magic herself, but typically this form of magic I've never seen anything that to permanently transport somebody in like this without them being a willing participant.
Wait until our one
Question
shot
two.
next month.
So are we still going with shot, not off? Oh, so question 2, our group, like, this is like, did we end up taking sending stones or no? And like somebody has to have the other have one, right? Like whoever you're sent is okay. So we didn't I can't remember, and I apologize. Did we set that up somehow?
You have 1 sending stone. Arnon had 1. Gwen had the other one. I don't know who took that one from Gwen. And then
Gwen had one with her dad.
Yeah, Gwen had one with her dad as well. I don't know if you guys took
And she had one with good old Hugh.
One with Hugh.
I have the sending spell.
Like, can we?
Always a good decision.
But you know that the sending stones themselves.
I mean, should we?
The sending stones themselves, at least from Gwen's perspective, trying to contact Hugh, would only work if they were on the same plane.
I imagine that Butch.
Oh, I don't give a shit about. I don't want to contact you. I have zero interest in that.
No, I'm just saying.
Pissed off voicemails every day.
Stone mails.
You just crank calling them every day.
Can we send something like from Arnon to Gwen's dad for a message, to get a message to I guess Callie, as her brother calls her.
Updates from hell?
Like I said, the only reference that you had personally with sending stones is that they only worked on the same plane of existence. Whether or not that was just the one that Hugh gave them, or whether or not Hugh was just ignoring her, you're not sure.
You'd have to try it.
I mean, the sending spell should work across different planes of existence. At least the cleric one. I'm assuming that our good wizard spell can muster the same power.
I do suppose it's worth a shot.
I'm just saying, is that information that we'd like to share at this point? Do we think it's too early? Like, I mean, it's just something like, perhaps that's something that we should share. Should we get in trouble? Not that anyone could get to us quickly, but might be good to give updates to the people that we trust, to then pass that on to the people they trust.
I'm sure they could do with an update.
Yep.
I'll watch update.
I mean, to be fair, we were supposed to be like there and then back, and so far that has not been the case. So,
I mean, they knew that the amulet took a week to recharge, so they aren't expecting you, at least for a few more days.
Yeah, we're not late yet. Also, not as quick as I'd hope.
I'm sure. I don't know. Should we tell General Calligraphy that her brother's alive?
Calliope?
I think we should ask if there are any relatives we should be aware of that she had, past or present.
Who might be residing in hell?
That's such an odd question to just be sending to her. That might reveal the hand.
Butch, do you want to make that call, or should I?
Not today. I didn't prepare it. Tomorrow, maybe.
Looks like I'm sending out messages today, then.
I mean, if you're not
It's still
comfortable
a
sending it,
25
I can
limit.
send a message tomorrow. Oh, the call is to whether or not we
You're
should
bro.
do it. Oh.
Yeah. Just because it's an idea that is presented does not mean I'm saying it's a good idea. It's just, hey guys, here's a resource. Should we use it?
And
Not
we
that
should
it would even
definitely-
help us. I don't know if it'll help us, but like communicating might not be a terrible idea.
We should definitely send the
Maybe-
general an update.
Maybe she thinks she never mentioned him to me, so maybe she thinks he's dead.
Probably.
That's my assumption.
Are you guys saying this all out loud around him, or are you
Nope.
just
Oh no.
No.
Well,
okay?
No, this is like several hours later after everyone else has gone to sleep. That's the only reasonable thing I can assume that we're doing.
we left him to
because-
process, and then
Yeah.
found a cubbyhole.
Drink all this ale.
To which that elderly dwarf woman that was in the entrance was like, "We do have some bunks back this way if you would like to sleep. They're probably not going to be the most comfortable thing. It's cooler down here than it is up on the surface, but it's still fucking hot. So
How has Grandma Dwarf
What is her name,
survived
Nick?
in hell for this long?
Very
Her name is-
carefully.
She's probably a tough old
Or
bird.
something.
She's
Birdie.
crocheting with like hell scorched yarn.
my name is
you-
Grimhilda.
What is it?
Grimhilda?
Grimhilda.
Grimhilda.
Madam Grim,
See this
do you have
short white beard?
that's fitting.
I'm sorry, what?
Madam Grim, do you have a mattress large enough for my bulk?
We do. We have serviced a few larger folk, and we do have a mattress that will fit you.
Serviced, huh?
Service to
Phrasing.
I don't like that word.
Phrasing.
Phrasing.
I was actually going to put that in the chat that I stopped myself from being like, ew, gross. But then
We
everybody
have-
else went there, so
We have
No
rescued.
slut shame. Grimhilda gets around.
We have rescued
Get
a
it,
few
Grimhilda.
people of your size. We have rescued a few people, and we have held them here while waiting for their rides out of this plane.
Well,
so
the mattress won't burst into flames if it's on the floor.
are
will it?
you
we have beds
ETC.
that'll work for you. Don't worry about it.
Okay, because I'm very large.
I really thought Butch was about to
in
have
your
a yes man
opinion,
moment.
does size matter?
God damn it.
ETC.
Trust me, if no one else had been talking, Butch would be saying yes, ma'am, all over the place because that is his type. I mean, to say yes, ma'am.
That's not. Oh my God. Okay.
Oh, that was a mistake.
We can call this episode Freudian Slip.
Say right up.
We had a baby on this program like moments ago.
That is true.
It's a family program.
So, as you
That's
guys,
Depending on your
slip,
family.
trip and fall.
Adam's family program.
so she shows you off to a little like alcove down. You go back out into that main room, and down the left path, you do see that path goes into there's a few separate like storage rooms that have been converted into like almost like hostel style bunks. Not the movie, but the actual hostels.
She takes us down the left-hand path to a hostile alcove.
Like alcoves that have been like they were originally storage rooms, and they've been converted into almost like hostel style bunks where it's like rooms with multiple bunk beds.
How aggressive are they?
Oh my God. The most aggressive beds.
Excellent. I will combat them.
They're obsessively warm and pointy. Getting in them is a
This
trial.
is still like Butch's self-care. Like this still is involved. He's like still has his like self-care sandals. He's like he is stoked, not bummed for this bed.
While we're walking back there, I want to ask if everything is going to like, is this part of what moves, or are we gonna suddenly not be near you guys anymore?
Every time in the past that the the structure itself, the chambers themselves, has stayed together. It's not like the rooms separate so much as the whole area kind of shifts to another location. So where our entrance is now, hopefully, there's no saying whether or not our entrance will be accessible tomorrow after the shift. If it's not, we do have ways of tunneling through to another place, but the structure itself and any interconnected rooms. Sorry, my brain stopped working. It's the old age and the heat gets to you after a while, and it kind of makes things process a little slower. But the old,
You gotta stay hydrated.
Like Texas.
so yeah, that sounds like hell. I don't know that place, but it sure sounds like hell too. So
Adjacent.
but we might end up in another location within the city, but our compound here should stay intact.
Good. So we're having this meeting pre-sleep then.
All right. So yeah, you guys
So-
have your own little group or storage room that's more or less all of you, and there's no other outsiders in that area.
Except for Orifice, but he's one of us now.
One of us. One of us.
But that's
One
okay
of
because
us.
the openings usually don't move.
God damn it. What have I done?
So next time we get in a fight, who's
Yeah,
covering
this is
our
your fault
orifice?
because you invited me.
Well, if we get cut off, we have ways of tunneling through.
I would never change it, Lindsay.
Well, I'm glad we're all in the same room, so that's good. I think we need to talk about the sending stone and whether or not we want to do that. Because again, I'm not saying it's a good idea. It's just an idea.
Do what?
Communicate what's up with what we're currently doing. To
No, we should definitely do that.
The general's hasn't given us a reason to distrust her yet.
Oh, you guys, what? Wait, what? Oh man, I think I've missed something.
yeah, but I mean the message will go through Gwen's dad anyway, so he's going to be able to decide what he wants to tell her anyway, like
Well,
and
no,
how that
because-
filters through him.
No, because the stones
No.
don't go across planes. We'd have to use Elric's sending spell, so he can
Yeah, we have
decide
to use-
whoever it goes to.
Proper measure.
Got it. Apologies. Got it.
I don't know if there would be a benefit to telling her about the potential brother just yet. We won't be back for several days. There's no guarantee we'll be able to bring the brother back, or even that the brother will want to come back with us. And
But he has to go back.
should something happen, do we really want to break that news to her?
Hey, here's your long lost brother, and then also sorry we lost your long lost brother.
False hope is still hope.
Yeah, I think that that's a good idea. And then I think that, like, maybe we tell him that, tomorrow that, I mean, because we've already kind of either directly said it or inferred that he can come with us. I think we've directly said it. But if something happens,
Yeah.
I think that maybe he writes a letter of some kind, or if, like, he wants to give, like, that's not a conversation we might be able to have in a battle if he perishes.
No,
So maybe that's something that would allow him to have some closure of some kind if
a backup letter.
Dearest Calliope, I write to you from the
What is
second
Garoop
layer
doing
of
here?
hell.
Daroop Galoop showed up all of a sudden.
That's how you have to write a letter to a long lost family member in that
Yeah,
accent.
that's the only way it works. Isn't that right, Steve?
Nick, how much do I know the
you
general?
know what? I
from
accept that as
military
canon.
time?
You would know, I mean, not
Are we close in any way?
not super well. No. I mean, you were stationed not even really under her. She just called you because she had heard your story. So,
Okay.
out of everyone in here, Rain would be the only one who was actually like close with the general. The rest of the
bread with her. But...
yeah, the rest of the group are subordinates to her and are at least somewhat friendly to her. But Rain and the general have a history, and that's how Rain ended up serving Conticaria, was because the general specifically came to them and brought them in.
Rain, I don't know the general very well, but I would assume, generally speaking, she's level-headed. However, something of this
General Butt.
magnitude may provoke her to do irrational things if we tell her now. What do you think?
I think your point to the uncertainty of it, she never mentioned him to me. So I think maybe it's a little too volatile until we know for sure we can bring him back. If he wants
I
to.
agree, because I also think that if she didn't mention it to you, that also might have to do with a level of vulnerability that she doesn't want to share in her specific position. So it makes sense that she might have reasons to not share potential vulnerabilities or, just like those types of things, so that.
Can the general
So I agree.
respond
I think
with
we
the
should wait.
with the sending spell? Or she can only receive it?
No, she can respond.
Okay. However, I
question.
I fear, especially in a place like this, that we could be leading ourselves into a trap if we don't confirm this person's existence. It seems strange that she would never mention this person in her history to you. And then suddenly we stumble
He was
upon this person.
Dead.
If she thought he was dead and...
But if she thought he was dead, like, that might be traumatic. And maybe she doesn't want to share that? I don't know.
She's a general. She's seen battle. Surely she
Yeah,
can
but
handle
watching a sibling
a
die
certain
is
amount of trauma.
is a whole different creature.
Maybe she faked her own death. She didn't want to be around him anymore. It's possible. And then she banished him.
What?
It's possible.
Why
We'll
don't-
just
wait, wait, wait.
mention.
From a meta
We'll-
standpoint, as a non-sibling, I don't know. I don't have an opinion.
Let's just mention that there are other survivors that are going to be coming with.
I can assert that I have definitely tried to fake my own death and banish my sibling to hell before.
Oh my god.
Okay, what
Was
about
it,
if
was
we
it
tell her
recently
that
when
we
you
found
found out he tore
another...
out the dragon?
There's a tiefling survivor.
Named... Is he... We just name drop.
I think that we don't even name him. Just say that we found say there's survivors we're bringing back with us, including a tiefling survivor.
We don't know he's going to come back with us.
Well, assuming he does wish to
That's
come
true.
back with us, we don't know if we're bringing perhaps a threat back with us, masked as an ally, as a former family member.
Is that a risk we're willing to take?
I really wish we had that gift feed.
Same.
Yeah, sorry we keep laughing at inappropriate times. There's a lot of sharing going on behind the scenes.
Our Discord is lit.
Oh my god.
Don't ever say that again.
So hot right now.
Lit for literature.
Yes. So hot right now.
I've got
It's in the
20
computer.
I've got 25 words to convey a message through the sending spell.
We can say we found
That's
the
a lot.
resistance group. Their
You could do a haiku.
their leader seems to be a. I'm not counting that, but their leader seems to be a tiefling, and we're waiting. I don't know.
I think that we let her, we say something about that we've found what we believe to be safe passage and safe shelter for the next whatever days. I think that's how we start. I'm not counting those words because I'm
No, I was counting the
generalizing.
days. I can't. I'm like, is it 3 or 4?
Pull up the calendar.
We're about to go into day 7.
3?
7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. So 4 more days.
Oh shit. I was wrong.
Oh no! I'm sorry. We're on the 7th now.
Yes, you've
And
already
we're about
got,
to go into
yes,
the 8th.
Correct.
So sorry. 3 more days. Morning the 11th, we can fuck off.
Okay.
So it's been 4 days since we used the amulet.
Yes.
4
In
days
death,
since we crossed the
stop.
plains.
Took detour. Stop. Safe. Stop.
I don't think you have to say stop.
No, don't add the stop.
That'll take out
It
a
just
word.
adds words.
Over.
Oh my god, we're not saying over either.
Is this thing on?
Giggity. Harriet, it's your mother.
Dear
mother.
General
You
Calliope,
just triggered Rhett's PTSD.
how are you?
Are you staying hydrated?
We are well. It is warm. Is it warm where you are?
It's too warm here.
Sincerely.
But at least it's a dry heat.
Oh crap! I ran out of.
Is this like a pen pal like from high school when like you? No, not high school. Like it would be more
Like
intelligent than
elementary
this.
school.
Yeah, like a
Yes.
postcard that you got. And you made an airplane friend on the way to Disney.
Do
are
you
you?
like me?
Harriet.
Yes or no?
All right. Are you sending? What are you sending?
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to send casting the sending spell to General Calliope. Okay. This is Elric. We've made it to Dis. Rescue plans currently underway. We have other survivors coming in 3 days.
That's great.
You still,
Assuming the amulet works.
yeah, you still have 6 words. Is that it, or are you cutting it?
And say,
Found your
Miss you,
brother. He's a
XOXO.
badass.
Hugs and kisses.
Not gonna say hugs and kisses. God damn it!
You could put a condition on there for the amulet fucking us.
Like
again.
met a tiefling.
See you soon.
Not. Oh my god!
Maybe.
Hugs and kisses.
Prepare for our arrival.
Skeet skeet. No.
Just in case.
Okay.
Prepare for a big
Little
surprise.
John on the bus goes skeet,
Toast.
skeet, 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 skeet.
You stop that.
Family show.
We are a family
Yeah.
program.
Family show.
Yeah,
Still taking notes.
Please advertise
family.
promptly.
Elric.
Those natural ones after hours.
Oh,
You
Lady.
After hours.
could you two could
99
be a
bottles of
sponsor.
skeet on the wall and 99 bottles of skeet.
Nightcap
Oh, that's so gross.
featuring those natural ones.
Oh.
Somebody fucking kill me.
He goes to the windows and the walls and the walls and the walls.
It goes till the sweat drips down your balls.
No.
All through a town.
Oh, God. Hey,
A town. You know?
peace
No,
up, A-Town
you know
down.
what?
Anyway.
I quit. I really am in hell.
All right. So you send that. I
The
don't.
heat is getting to us.
You. A response comes back a few minutes later, or a few moments later. It says, "Good. Be safe. We will prepare for your arrival." We can support any refugees you can send. We want to help get people out.
Do you know my friend Bolo?
We are not crossing the streams or the universes. You stop that.
I am Bolo.
One day I'll be reporter.
I'm so glad.
Bolo?
I'm so glad you're watching that now.
I'd seen that short already.
Yeah.
It was so much better in this
Oh,
stream.
it's so much better with context.
Oh my god.
Pleased
I
to
am
meet you. I
Bolo.
am Bolo. I am to be a reporter. Anyway. So that's what you get back.
Random references.
Yep.
Oh, wait, shit. Roll a d20.
Roll a d20.
I forgot.
Okay.
What's the
Our
D20 for?
focus on those natural ones. Elric, roll a d20.
When you send
You should roll a number.
when you send sending across planes, there's a 5% chance it'll fail. Okay, you're fine.
Oh, good. I thought he was rolling to see if she asked about her brother.
No. When you send sending across planes, there's a 5% chance that it'll
Gotcha.
fail. So as long as
Yeah.
you don't roll a 1, you're good.
Yeah.
So yeah,
How
that's
are
the
we going to
response. you get.
entertain ourselves in these closets for 3 days?
Maybe
I brought playing cards.
see where we shift.
You
to
want
and-
some more
and plan a
children's
path?
songs remixed?
Yeah.
Have we finalized their plans?
No.
My society only really sung like dirges, so.
We don't.
Yeah, if you guys have, I don't know, a good question to ask the goddess about our upcoming venture into the Citadel, the Bastille of. So the plan is to go into the Bastille of Flesh and then find our way to the Bastille of, what is it, Souls or whatever?
Yeah.
Is that
We
the
don't
plan?
know how close we're going to be to it.
Nope.
Hey, thanks
we
for
have
this.
no idea.
Thanks for the sub, Jeremio or whatever
Nice.
it was.
Hey.
Hey.
I don't know what.
We'll take it.
I don't know where that came from, but thanks, buddy.
Hi, Jay.
Well, that's a sub. I'm going to say Jeremy. Thank you.
That's
Would
Jared.
would the
That's my
goddess
friend.
have any? I don't understand the exalted ones very well. Would the goddess potentially have any exalted ones imprisoned, or is that not a possibility?
Geronimo. Ha! Hey,
It
that
is a
makes more
possibility.
sense than
Yeah.
Geronimo. I'm an idiot.
Nemo.
I'm an idiot. Thanks.
That's probably a separate question I could ask on
have
day
it.
2.
Do you have a stomachica?
I swear to God.
Oh my god.
Jeremino has a stomachica.
And you lost him.
And we're done. Anyway, what Butch? What are you doing, Butch?
We did this.
Well, we have questions about how far it is from the bastion of flesh to the bastion of the bastille of flesh to the bastille of souls. And another question: Does the goddess have any other persons that we should rescue while we're here?
It's really hot down here. What's it like in heaven?
Can you please send air conditioners?
Or like ice?
Nah, ice.
Literally anything.
We also
It
don't
arrives
know
as
where
steam.
we're going to be when after the next shift occurs, which should theoretically happen overnight. So they've said.
True.
It's mostly like
I think that we
Streets
need
that
to also
shift?
prepare for the possibility that this is a trap and just hope it's not.
Well, we're in
It's a
hell, so
trap.
everything is a trap.
It's a trap.
A trap.
It's a
It's the
tarp.
clap. It's the clap.
Anything but the
Just the
clap.
claps.
It's a wrap.
Just the claps.
I think you all should teach me your favorite song from your homeland. I like that idea.
Start
While we're
singing the
sitting.
Wellerman.
Yeah, we could exchange favorite songs from our homelands.
All right. So, are you save for sharing songs? Is there anything else you are attempting to accomplish this evening?
There
I'm
is-
attempting.
There's one other thing I'd like to do.
Hold on one second. Butch, what were you attempting?
I'm attempting to make sure that all the chocolate-covered grasshoppers are staying inside the bag of holding, where hopefully they won't melt.
Fantastic. All right.
I'm pretty sure they'll melt in your mouth. Not
They're gonna melt in my hand on the way to my mouth.
Elric, what are you doing?
I would like to prepare another sending.
He gonna call his girl.
See, that's smart, and he is the smartest elf.
He's
on the
like,
road.
cheeks clapping for you, girl. How that butt do?
You're gonna hear me coming.
That's
He's
That
just
call-
gonna, gonna sound like Perry with the clap in the background.
It's like one of those little toys where
That's
they
not-
slap back and forth.
it's not even the call I'm going to
Oh, I
make
thought it was
right
gonna be
now.
or like one of those like monkeys, but instead of like the
It's definitely a monkey.
like the symbols, it's just the butt.
Oh my god.
Elric, what are you doing?
Okay, what I'm actually doing before making that sending, which I was going to prepare a sending to Gwen.
Okay.
While trying to be stealthy, Elric invents twerking.
You're gonna.
What are you going to attempt to send to Gwen?
Okay. I'm going to attempt to send to Gwen 25 words. All right. Okay. This is Elric. We've come to break you out. Rain is with us. Amulet needs 3 days. Watch for a distraction. Stay strong, Gwen.
What?
So you
XOXO.
you send that off.
I ran out of space.
No hugs and kisses. No
No.
space for that.
You send that off. You wait a few minutes. No response. Not sure if it's because they didn't receive it or they just don't respond back.
Do you get? I thought you knew with sending whether or not it was received by someone. Whether or not it was the person that you intended, but you'd know whether or not it was received. Or is that just with the stones?
I think that's just with. Yeah, I think that's just with the stones.
It doesn't have spell read receipts.
No.
That is not a thing. And now I'm going to send
Oh.
to Anisra.
Okay.
Okay.
You want
Lord,
us
get off the
to?
phone.
You want us to write it out for you first?
No.
I wish I could talk over.
Do you want some
him
privacy?
in his own message?
I don't think the spirit of Gwen would be disappointed.
Okay.
That's why she didn't answer you.
I swear to God. Okay. Okay. I'm going to attempt to send to Anisra. This is Elric.
You up?
No. No.
I want the message to be collecting all of these words.
I swear to God. No, what I send is this is Elric. Currently halfway through our rescue mission. Should be back in 3 days if this works.
Promise you can't keep.
Hope you're doing well. And I will see
That's
you
it.
soon.
That's it.
That-
And I will. And it
And I
cuts.
will. Fuck.
Remember you.
Um,
Will you remember me?
roll me a d20.
Oh.
Amistra, show me love up in the club.
Counting has never been a strong suit.
Hey, there's Elric again.
All right. So you send that through. A minute passes or so, and then you just hear back a familiar voice that says, "Be safe. I hope you succeed in your mission. I will be waiting for you to return."
Yeah, she will.
Will you remember me?
That's
What
it.
are you wearing?
And that's it.
It'd be a little weird if she was the first one to ask, what are you wearing?
What
Hold on a
are you
second.
wearing in hell?
That is not a weird question coming from women. Like,
No,
I mean,
it's not
In
that it would be
this
weird.
I've done that.
circumstance.
You
It
can't
would be-
respond.
I just think it would be weird if she asked me first.
Given
I
that
don't know.
you are
I've asked
in
first.
hell on a mission,
She knows you always wear dope ass shoes, man.
It's more likely she would ask, "What are you reading?"
She's interested in them shoes.
She'd probably ask, what am I reading?
So, is there anything else you wanted to accomplish before your rest this evening?
Did I
Dwarf
happen to
too?
recognize the grandma dwarf from my time in the Resistance?
No.
Your former lover.
There's
How
so
is-
many grandma dwarves in the resistance. You just
Hey, there's not a lot of choice in hell.
There's-
all right?
can't remember.
There's-
if you have a need,
Not a lot of
Flynn.
good
if you have a
choices.
natural need,
There
you
are
become a yes man very quickly.
there
We're
are
all grandma
cells.
dwarves when the lights are off.
There are cells.
You know how
of
long
this-
I was
oh
in
my
prison?
God, I hate this so much. There are cells of this resistance throughout the entire city, so it's very likely that you did not run into. There's quite a few people that you never met, or full cells that you've never met before.
What is Rain's vibe right now? Does she seem like nervous? I mean, because like we're getting like what we would assume to be closer to getting Gwen.
Make a
So like
insight.
Rain, what's your vibe?
You can make an insight check unless you want to straight up ask them.
I feel like I should just like. Am I really like that dumb that I wouldn't be able? Am I not empathetic at all?
I mean, that you still have to roll for it.
No.
So Rain's not the Rain isn't a hard on their sleeve kind of person like Gwen is.
18.
Oh,
Rain, if you would like to, you can roll a deception check, or you can just say how you're feeling.
Well, no, I just want the vibe. I don't need her to
Right,
tell me.
that's what I
Like,
mean.
just-
Like
Vibe
Okay.
check.
vibe check.
vibe check. Vibe roll.
it's a bit of an anxious vibe. Maybe a little bit of the like charming, like we'll just see what happens as we get there. That sounds like a fucking good plan. Like that kind of smarmy is chipping a little because it's both getting closer to and also still too far away from
Well,
getting Gwen.
I'm just gonna like not. It's not gonna be like a group thing, but I'm just gonna like go over, just like quietly, just say, "Hey, we're gonna get her. We're getting close. We got it." And then just like not let her react because I know she's not gonna want to. Like just like basically just like say that, "Hey, this is a statement of like comfort, but not like expect anything back from it."
There's just a real solid nod and then a studying of the grout or whatever is in hell. The grout equivalent in hell.
The hell floor.
The mortar.
The floor is lava.
Oh no.
Fantastic. So,
Sure, the floor is lava when you take your shoes off.
if there's nothing else that you want to accomplish,
Yes, it is.
you all bed down for the night. It's
Songs.
what?
Arnon wants some songs.
It is hot.
bed.
It's uncomfortable. It's like fucking Louisiana in summertime.
Ugh.
All right,
It's like
on my mattress, I'm
this-
gonna turtle
yeah,
up
the
to
inside-
see if it's
Ins-
cooler inside or outside.
Inside this basement with the sweat and the people and the bodies, it's like this hot, musky, stale, sticky, gross. So
All right, I'm definitely cooler if I turtle
Since you
up.
put it that way.
It's dank.
yeah, it's not pleasant, but you all are able.
Just writing good, gracious, ass bodacious. You know, just exclaim, just writing down songs about how hot it is in here and whether or not we should remain clothed.
As you all find your evening's rest, it's not the most restful time you've had in your life, but you are able to fulfill your sleeping requirements. You wake up groggy, soaked with sweat. You come to consciousness. You hear kind of mumbling and everything in the distance coming from that main hall. You hear kind of a commotion.
I get up to go check on the commotion.
Follow suit.
As you all walk into that main like entry living area, for lack of a better term, you notice Casil and the older dwarf woman, kind of talking back and forth, a little voices a little more energetic. You hear Casil say, "Well, do you know what we are?"
Are they speaking common?
They are, yes.
So like we understand.
Yes.
Okay.
You hear Casil saying, "Well, have we figured out where we are yet? I know the shift happened. We can tell the shift happened." And shit, I forgot her name.
Grimhild.
Grimhilda.
Something.
Yeah.
Grimhilda was like, "Well, we haven't quite figured it out yet. There's a couple things that have changed." And, he says, "Yes, clearly this is the first time we've lost our room before. And do we know why this happened or where we are?" "Well, we haven't. We know. Settle down. We don't quite know where we are. Yes, we lost our room, but luckily there was only a couple people in there. So it's unfortunate, I know, but at least it could have been a lot worse. Well, a lot worse or not, we still lost a couple people. They're on the other side of that fucking wall now. We don't even know what's on the other side of that wall." And
Good thing we didn't call Calliope.
What'd you say?
Good thing we didn't tell Calliope. I'm just assuming that her brother's on the other side of that wall.
No, her brother was one of the ones that was just talking.
I missed
Yeah.
that. I must have not been paying attention.
So as the two of them are kind of going back and forth, what are you all doing?
I approach the table and I offer our assistance.
To which Casil kind of looks over, like, "Okay, so we had to shift last night, as we expected. However, this is the first time that it's actually affected the layout of our structure. Down past where we were talking last night in that room with the storage room, where we were drinking and discussing. We had another chamber past there. It's gone. We woke up this morning and that chamber is gone. There is a wall. There is a slight hallway. And here, just follow me, I'll show you." And he kind of leads you into that room. And what you see is that room that you all were sitting in and drinking and discussing last night. There was a hallway that went off the side. Now you can see still where the hallway was, and it only goes about 1.5 feet, and then you see a dark iron wall. Like anything
This is unusual.
anything that was beyond that is we don't know. We're not sure.
Do you think this is a sign that Despater's onto us?
I don't believe so. These movements are very, very random, and it's always a possibility, but typically he does not have that much control and that much say over how these rearrangements happen. It's just random. And that is how he likes it. He wants it to be random because it keeps people out. It keeps people guessing, and it staves his paranoia. The thing that is worrisome to me is there are not very many subterranean structures in this. There is mainly one. Which means if we have butted up against this wall, there is a very good chance that is the prison.
So it's iron.
Yeah, it's a black iron wall.
Well, we won't know which side of it is.
Is there a way to sneak up and like look out a window? Like, aren't we under a building?
I mean, we can go up. We have not tried yet to see if the door is covered yet. We can attempt. if you would like, we can go look right now.
Elrock, you could send your bird.
I don't know. Like the people that live here probably would be better.
We should probably use caution though, because
I think there's a lot of hawks.
Our
in
stone's
hell.
not ready for our evacuation yet.
I can go look.
That's fair.
If you will all stay here, I will go check it out. If anyone would like to come with me, that's fine. Otherwise, I will be right back. So you see him start walking towards the front entrance.
I'm going to go with him.
You gonna go with him? All right.
I'll go as well, since I'm a former member of the Resistance.
So the three of you walk towards the front entrance, that staircase that you walk down. You walk up to that kind of almost cellar door. You see multiple large, like, crossbars of metal and wood jammed in, barricading the door shut. You see Casil walk up and start undoing those, throwing them off to the side. He kind of turns the crank, slightly starts lifting up. You see the sunlight bursting through the small little crack. He opens up and looks out, kind of peeks his head up. He's like, "It's clear. Are we going out?" Opens the door. You guys step out. And what you see is another street. More buildings. You're in another alleyway somewhere. The buildings look different, but there's still, you see this long curving alleyway. You don't really see an end to either side. You see buildings 5-10 stories tall peppering the sides of the alley. But that's all you can really tell from where you're at.
Do we see the tower?
Make a perception check.
Nope.
Yeah, unfortunately, the size of these buildings, and you can't get a good angle on the sky, so you can't really see past the buildings that you're at.
It's so hot here that it's like a terrible moment when sweat gets into your eye.
Indeed.
God.
Do we see any people or creatures, anything like that?
You see a couple devils wandering in the far distance, but not too much in this alleyway. Alleyway seems to be fairly empty.
Is there anything to indicate how close or far we are from the prison?
Not really. And to this, Casil is like, well, at least we are lucky enough to not have our entrance covered up like as what's happened before.
Are you looking in the direction of where the wall was underground?
Where the wall was underground would be behind one of these buildings.
But these buildings don't look like a prison.
No, these buildings just look like regular old buildings. And the prison is subterranean from what you've heard. So you don't know how large it is, but you can imagine
It's fully subterranean?
as far as you're aware.
Oh.
And as far as what Orpheus has told you, every part that Orpheus knew about it was subterranean.
That tracks.
I suppose it could have been worse.
How deep is our lair? Hideout, whatever. How deep is our lair?
You went down about 20 feet or so to when you descended that staircase. It was about 20, 25 feet.
Can I get an idea how thick this iron wall is?
You can make an investigation check.
Well,
So you walk up, and exactly how are you trying to test this, the thickness?
I'll just give it a little tappy.
So you walk up,
Tap, tap, tap.
dung, dung, dung.
The wall knocks back.
You take 2 points of fire damage from knocking on this wall. Can't really tell. You're not really. It sounds thick. It sounds sturdy.
Does it sound dummy thick?
It's somewhere on the edge of dummy thick, maybe.
Okay. All right.
Can
I'll add that to my notes.
Americans will use anything but the metric system.
can Rain, since they didn't follow the folks outside, also try to investigate the wall to see if they can discern anything?
If you would like to.
Not necessary. If
Maybe use something metal.
yeah, I'll just take out like a throwing knife and just kind of trace the edges of the door or of the wall, wherever. Because I'm imagining like there's a hallway and then it's just iron, right?
Yeah, it's basically just
Like-
yeah.
Just testing the seam between the iron and the wall.
Make an investigation check.
Okay, guys, I need to know if we're going today or not, because if we're going today, I need to go change one of my spells.
22.
So you can't
I
really
don't
tell
But
Okay.
you can't really tell any kind of like there's this iron looks like it was like pressed into this stone. There's no real gap. You do kind of tap it a little bit and you do notice that it's probably, I mean, it's fairly thick, but it's a good solid wall, but hold on one second. Let me do a calculation real quick.
Let's kind of put my thumbs in my lapels and go, that's a good solid wall right there.
That's some heavy metal.
I wonder what would happen to it if I cast Ray of Frost.
Just so long as it isn't Heavy Metal 2000.
Oh God!
Are Elric and I and Cyril back in the building at this point?
Yes, you guys would have walked down. You could guess. It's a rough guess, but you, due to the resonance when you tap on it and everything, you can imagine probably about 6-inch thick metal wall.
Just look to Ryan like, you think they use the 6-inch there? Like
yeah.
the 6-inch? Yeah.
Yeah, getting that inclination.
So,
Weren't you guys talking about like a paint on door thing you had before?
Yeah.
Oh
Ooh.
yeah, the
Wile E. Coyote.
marvelous pigments.
I want to be a Looney Tune.
So here's
Before we use
Here's my
marvelous
thought.
pigments, if we see something we don't want to see, can we immediately wash that away?
I don't.
That is a
know.
good
There's a spell
question.
for eye bleach.
You guys go do the door. I'm gonna go change one of the spells.
Maybe we should like paint a peephole first. Well, we're not gonna go in until we can get out.
Can we make?
here's my
Well,
thought
one of those-
process. If we create some kind of entrance, if we decide that we want to do something, we would probably have to do it today, or else the shift may send the wall somewhere else on the next shift.
Well, he did
But
say that
if
the
we do
shifts-
that, we're going in early without the gem being ready.
He did say that the shifts happened about weekly,
Okay,
typically.
Okay.
So
disregard then.
Shall
So,
we expeditiously paint a door and take a wee peek?
A peephole, a small window.
Can we do a window without knowing what's on the other side?
Well, this is a good time to
Elric?
practice.
You can certainly try.
If we're going to start with anything, we should start with it. We can start with a door.
And the pigment's not one-time use, right? We can use it in the future.
We have a certain amount of it. It's like
Unless someone spills it all on the floor
That
and just makes
covers
a
it.
massive hole.
a lot of square feet, so
Okay.
we should have plenty.
Like each pot has about 1,000 square feet.
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah, it would be a really big, deep hole if we dropped it.
Okay. So
Just waste it all.
Well,
and draw
and
a
if
big
we don't like
sinkhole.
what we see, I
Yeah.
can instantaneously like shut the door.
yeah,
I don't know how
like
helpful that is.
if we create a
Shut
door,
the front door.
then it's going to act like a door. We can open it and close it.
Yeah, I'm
What-
just
what
saying.
kind of-
Apparently, I could do it like
What kind of roll to close a door?
Probably athletics, because you
Why
got to
would
hold
you
it
make them ask
closed.
that? Not necessary.
Could you
I can just do it. Well, I'm just saying like it's something I can do with thaumaturgy if we
maybe paint a
it to
real
be done
thick latch on that
immediately.
door?
All right, everyone, stand back.
Oh no!
So you're doing this now?
No, we're not.
I mean, it's 11:32.
Yeah.
Are we doing this now?
I figured painting the
No.
door and taking a peek might be a good place to stop. Or
Not if we can't get
Before.
rid of the door.
Just paint a really little door.
like a mouse-sized door. Just to get
Yeah.
a peek.
Like
How's
at,
the mouse
like at the
doing?
very bottom.
How's Miss
Like a-
Swiss doing in hell?
She's
a
hot.
fairy door.
She's hot.
So,
She's hot.
while you
She's
guys
really hot
fig-
right now.
while you guys all figure
So hot
out
right now.
what exactly you want to do, that is where we will pick up on Friday for our in-person session. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to have a Perry with us because he's going to be at a
No.
bar mitzvah.
I have to go to a bat mitzvah, and that is fine. It'll be a very good time, but I will miss you all terribly.
Yes. Enjoy it. Have fun. We will miss you. But we will come back on Friday at 6:30. So make sure you're tuned in at 6:30 Eastern time. I don't know what time that is in Austria, so I'm sorry, but 6:30 Eastern for all
Fellow
of those.
players, make sure you have like 6 hours of fuckery planned to get through this wall. So Nick will be happy about
Yeah,
us printing that he's
oh
done.
boy.
Absolutely.
Oh my
If you guys could just like fuck all of my plans, that would be fantastic.
Super.
So,
So just normal live in-person game shit. Okay, got it.
Absolutely. It's not my fault if we're there until 3:00 in the morning. We're going to use this fucking map. I don't give a
Oh,
shit.
please don't. I have a funeral the next day. Please
Oh,
don't.
no.
Oh no!
So, we will see you on Friday at 6:30 here at
Where it would
youtube.com /@thosenaturalones or twitch.tv /thosenaturalones or
Like and
Trovo or Kick, whichever one is your program of choice.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. So, we will see you on Friday at 6:30 Eastern.
Where it would be really awful if we just rolled a bunch of those natural ones.
Or really awesome. One of the two.
Will we penetrate 6 inches of hot, steamy steel?
With your
Stay
orifice.
tuned.
So, on that note, we will see you on Friday. Thank you so much. Bye bye now.